Hey guys, it's week 44 and I'm back from holiday break for my real first video of 2023, the last one I made before holiday break. I've taken the break to upgrade my setup here and upgrade my game a little bit in 2023. Got a green screen, lapel mic, we'll see how this goes. We're at $91 MRR right now. Let me tell you how it's going. Over the holiday break, we took our family to Disney. So we've got a 2-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 9-year-old. In our 3-night stay, we hit the parks just once, but we had a blast. We took our 2-year-old to Magic Kingdom, which was so fun, and the 7 and 9-year-old loved it too. Really looking forward to the Tron ride when that comes out. That should be pretty cool. One thing that's nice now about being seasoned in building startups and just being an engineer and everything is that I usually leave the ship in pretty good shape. It's pretty rare that an actual problem comes up and I'm not there. That was definitely not the case in my earlier days. So I'm benefiting now from some hard lessons won. It's important to take a break every once in a while. And in my earlier years of entrepreneurship, this was a lot harder to do. I think now I've kind of developed a pattern that's helped me do this. And it's definitely taken some learning. When Mailshake was just getting going, we were about a year in and I hadn't really taken a break yet. We were fragile, but we were growing strongly. And I was the only technical person at the company at that time. My wife and I were going to take a trip. It was my first time I was actually going to be away from the keyboard and unable to help in any kind of an emergency. And just before we were going to board our cruise, I had a major production bug and systems were going down. So I'm sitting in the lobby furiously trying to code to patch the system before I can take this trip. It was so stressful, but it fell into that whole good problem to have camp. So I could only get so upset by it. Guess what I'm saying is it's hard to take a break sometimes, but you got to do it. You got to let your mind sit. You'll come back with new energy, better ideas. You might have solutions to problems you were really worried about. So let's get into where we are right now. So MRR, last time I left you guys, I had one customer. The revenue had just started coming in, and now we are at $91 in MRR. So it's very exciting. I'm getting lots of good feedback in my inbox from people. People are excited about the product. They're asking for things that make a lot of sense. So I'm starting to build those out and to ship those back to the customers. And here's one really interesting thing. I had a bug where up until yesterday, everybody who was in a trial on the Wix platform was getting it for free, even though their trial had expired. So I corrected that bug, and luckily that was kind of a bug on my side and not affecting customers negatively. So hopefully we'll actually get more purchases, because a lot of people who may have upgraded were actually just getting it for free, so why would they pay? So I'm kind of optimistic that that $91 is going to shoot up a little bit. We're going to cross that $100 MRR mark, and that's a super win for me. One of the customers that emailed me actually asked me to call somebody from their HR department to talk to them. I'm an introvert. I'm not really a phone person. I don't like making phone calls, but I will definitely take a phone call with a customer to hear about validation, to hear about feedback. It was a great call. She was super helpful. I think I'm on track to helping this company and other companies like it. So what I did was I collected that feedback from people, and I really thought about, what was sensible and what was kind of maybe this isn't for everybody. One of the good examples of the feedback was color choices. So some websites have dark themes or dark backgrounds. Dropboard wasn't really working for them because you can't customize the text color. It's always black. So that was kind of a no-brainer. I knew I was going to have to do that eventually. I wasn't sure if Wix was even going to work. So now that Wix is definitely working, the funnel is working, it's time to give those people what they need to make Dropboard work for their site. So with some of those feedback requests, I was basically fielding them on my vacation in my inbox, telling them, hey, I'm going to be back on the break soon. I'm going to take care of this. Thanks for your patience. This week, Monday and Tuesday, cranked that out, deployed it late Tuesday, and then made a video of those updates and sent emails back to those customers. I'm really trying to wow them with attentiveness and speed. And some of those features really fell into this would be good for a Dropboard Pro plan. So I'm carving things out now for the $7 plan that exists today that's going to facilitate basically basic hiring. And now I'm building a Pro plan. I'm thinking it's maybe going to be $19 a month. And that is going to have more advanced features from a lot of these people who are saying this would really work for me if it had these things. And so far, it's been pretty easy to siphon off which features go in which camp. One of the features I actually finished already, it's searching and location filtering for jobs. And I've actually already put that out there, and it's behind a feature flag, which means a way for me to turn it on for specific customers. So for the people who've reached out to me, I've already turned it on for them, just to say, hey, here's an extra thank you. I'm going to give you this Pro feature for free. Can you give me your feedback? And I'm also going to send an email to all my customers to say, hey, if you want this extra feature, just let me know. Just trying to facilitate communication. I want that to be a circular conversation with my customers so that I'm always getting feedback from them. Let's talk infrastructure. I have been running this whole thing off of Airtable and Replit so far, costing me just $7 a month. And now I'm starting to get nervous that it's breaking. It's just, I'm growing enough. I've got enough MRR. Originally, I wanted to get enough customers in to pay for the infrastructure so that I could do this without major costs. And now I think I'm approaching that point. I'm about 50% there in terms of having the revenue cover my monthly costs. So I think it's time to start building out production infrastructure. And that means databases and scalable web infrastructure. So there's going to be a little bit of work to do that. This is the right time to do it. I don't want the site to start getting slow for people. I really want to get on that. But before I jump into that, I really want to get some email campaigns set up, some automations for the customers that are coming in every single day. And I want to nurture them and make sure that I am treating them the best I can and have the best chance of converting them into paid users. So I want to run a short sequence for their welcome, their onboarding. For one, I want to make sure people know how to ask for help. And then number two, I want to answer the most basic questions so they don't even have to ask them. And then three, I want to make sure they understand there's an open line of communication with me. I also want to run a sequence for trial users. So as their trial starts to expire, I can check in with them, make sure they know that it's going to expire. And then also maybe check with them a couple of weeks later and see if I can get them to convert, see what was holding them back. And then another sequence I want to run is for first-time purchasers. I want to check in with them a little bit after their purchase to make sure I can keep them happy and then also maybe give them a chance to leave me a review. As far as apps that are going to do this for me, I've used MailChimp in the past and I just think it's too expensive for what they offer. I have found MailerLite, which seems to be a really nice platform, and I'm exploring that right now. I'm building some automations, but I really want to have my data scheme really well thought out before I start messing with all this stuff, because it's really annoying to change this later. And what I mean by this is I want to sync my customers into these mail platforms, and I want them to have the right kinds of data. I want them to know when the trial started, when their trial ended, when was their first purchase day. I want to have this kind of stats so that I can segment and dynamically customize these emails based on the customer. As an example, if I bump somebody's trial up by a week, I need to make sure that the mail automation system knows that and doesn't send their trials about to expire email too soon. So my plan is to finish making that schema, make it really smart, and then sync customers on a regular basis. Whenever they make updates, just have a sync process in the background that syncs it to the mail service. And I got a couple quick miscellaneous updates I just wanted to share in this video. One is this guy here made this comment last week, and I usually just kind of ignore trolls, but this one, it did prompt me to say one quick thing, and that is building a startup is super hard. There's just a lot that goes into it, and I've got 5 days a week to do it, but one of those days is taken up with video production in making these videos. So I really have 4 days a week. And in that one day, I've got to get everything done, and there's a lot to do. I kind of like the challenge of seeing how fast I can put something together that's interesting and communicates my weekly update, but I've got a really short window to do it in, and sometimes I just kind of got to roll with things, and there might be mistakes, there might be, flubs that I make, and I just have to move past it. I don't have time to polish everything to that nth degree. And also with that kind of stuff, I always assume, good intentions, and people just maybe say some things sometimes. So it kind of rolls off my back. So anyway, I just thought I'd mention that just to show you a little bit from behind the scenes what it's like to kind of go at this pace, because I am moving at a very quick pace. The other thing I wanted to mention was that Shopify, if you guys have been following my Shopify journey over the several weeks, especially in December, they sent me a survey saying, hey, how did the developer process go? And you better believe I did fill out that survey. Nothing against Shopify. I think they've done a lot of things really, really well, but the actual sort of like app approval process needs some work, and I wasn't shy about giving them that feedback. Well, guys, that's it for this week. I have got a lot to do right now. Things are getting really, really busy, but that is great news, and I'm so excited. I will see you next week. We'll see where our MRR goes from here.